Hello, everyone, and welcome to the last Product Talk podcast of the year. It's the December 2025 edition of the Product Talk podcast. We have a great lineup of topics for you today. Got Steph from the product team joining us as almost always. I know we kind of rotate through the hosts, but we have a great topic today with an upcoming feature release. And then another thing I'd like to highlight at the top of the podcast is our release of the 2026 State of Endpoint Management report. So we do this report every year. If you've never heard of it before, I recommend checking it out. We poll over 100 different, IT administrators, managers, directors of IT, VPs, CIOs, CISOs, et cetera, to get their take on the state of endpoint management with a specific focus on automation. So it's a great report to take a look at to benchmark yourself against others, see where the rest of the industry is at, and start to figure out how you can potentially mature your endpoint management program relative to the rest of the space. But today, the main topic is an upcoming feature release that we have in the new year. And that is something that we announced, I think, about a month or two ago. And we haven't had a ton of information come out since then. So I think this is going to be the first time where we really go and dive deep into our new partnership with Splashtop. So Steph, for those who don't know, can you just give us a quick background on what Splashtop is and who they are? I think most in the industry have probably heard of Splashtop, but just get us all up to speed quick.
Yeah, sure. Splashtop is a leader in providing remote control solutions. They've been in the industry for a really long time, and we are super excited to partner with them and use them as our vendor of choice to deliver remote control capabilities to our customers.
Awesome. Yeah. And I just got back we're recording this like the week after Thanksgiving, essentially. And the week prior, I was out on the floor at Microsoft Ignite in San Francisco. And that was our first opportunity to kind of demo this at scale to probably a few hundred people. And, the reception was really positive. And I will say, even on the Wi-Fi of the Moscone Center with 10,000 plus people attached to that Wi-Fi, it was super quick to connect and perform it once you were in as well, which is awesome. So I think at the highest level, right? Like this is remote control for macOS and Windows initially within the Automox console. For those of you that are familiar with Automox, our current customers, you might be familiar with Automox Assist. What's happening with Automox Assist? What's the plan since we're introducing this new partnership with Splashtop?
So the plan is to deprecate our homegrown remote control solution and replace that with Splashtop. So in January, we'll cut over all of our existing customers to use our new Splashtop Premium solution.
Excellent. Yeah, and I think if you're an existing customer that has access to Automox Assist, you will have already gotten emails by the time this podcast is live, talking about next steps. Everyone that has access to what will shortly be the legacy remote control will be getting that free upgrade to Resolved by Splashtop, which is the new partnership with Splashtop for the remainder of their licensing term. So you have that to look forward to. It's a really simple cutover. I think one of my favorite things about the partnership is really not changing very much. Really not changing anything, honestly, in the UI. You still launch the remote control sessions in the same way. It's just a much better product on the back end supporting it. And we're going to have a lot of new features. So I think maybe, Steph, if we could talk just a little bit about some of the new features here that we're introducing that'll be different from Automox Assist.
Yeah, and this isn't a feature, but something I think it's important to hit is just how fast and reliable this solution is. Like you said, even on the Wi-Fi, it's zippy, it's quick, it works really well. So in addition to just like the stability of it and the speed and the ease of use, we're gonna get file transfer, which has been heavily requested, chat, multi-monitor support. The multi-monitor feature itself works really well, easy to use, it's intuitive. You'll get concurrent sessions up to two. So if you're, training someone junior, you can both remote into the machine at the same time, session recordings, um, kind of the whole gamut, right? It really is a feature complete solution. Mainly why we choose it.
Excellent. Yeah, and I think, moving I know we did a lot of evaluation moving from kind of a homegrown solution towards a partnership solution. Um, you and I talked quite a bit about that decision, and obviously product leadership and our company leadership too. And I think ultimately the decision there was there's some great remote control products out there. We talked to a variety of vendors, and Splashtop we felt like was the best. They've got really great support. The team over there is awesome as well. If you've never met them before, I highly recommend chatting with them. And we just feel like partnering instead of trying to build something is really the best way to move forward with this kind of
Yeah.
capability that our customers need.
And it lets us focus on more of our core competencies. How do we get more automation in the platform and things like that? Whereas we can partner with a tried and true solution to deliver what customers need in that space.
Awesome. So I'm sure a lot of people listening are going to be really excited and interested to learn more. Can you talk a little bit about kind of the timeline and when we can expect to see some of this become available to customers and then become available to purchase for prospects or folks that are interested?
Yep. So we're doing a limited early access. We're going to give some customers a chance to, test it out, kick the tires, so to speak. And that's going to happen on Monday. And then on January 14th, for if you're an existing customer that has access to our legacy remote control solution today, we will migrate you over to the premium Splashtop remote control solution. So by the 15th of January, all of our customers that have had, our remote control solution will have been upgraded. And we'll also be doing some outreach for current customers who don't have access to remote control to see if they'd like to test out Resolve by Splashtop for the remainder of their contract term. As far as new sales go, we will have this on January 14th. So anybody that becomes a customer, that feature will be available. If you're trialing Automox, you'll get the full trial experience and be able to demo all the functionality.
Awesome. Yeah, I think the biggest thing from my perspective that I'm pretty interested in, and I think our customers are going to be pretty stoked about is, after that GA point, right? There's two different ways to get the Splashtop functionality. You can buy uh, Automox Automate Enterprise, which is our top tier. And that will get you just bundled in some very basic remote control capabilities from Splashtop. You'll basically be able to remote into the device and see things through the user's eyes and take action in there. There's no file transfer, no session recording, no multi-tech, but that for a lot of folks will be sufficient. And just getting that bundled in to a tier at no cost is probably going to be huge for a lot of organizations. And then, of course, those that want the Resolve by Splashtop, which includes those more advanced capabilities like file transfer, two techs concurrent in one device, session recording, etc. That can be purchased as an add-on module on the Automate Essentials or Automate Enterprise tiers. So lots of different options to purchase. We'll be coming out with more details. Our pricing page will be getting updated a little bit closer to the GA in January as well. So a lot more information to follow there. But there's a lot of ways to get access to Splashtop, which is awesome.
Yeah, and I feel like we have something for everyone, right? Like if you need the fully flushed out feature rich solution, we have a way for you to get that. If you need something a little bit more basic, then you have access to that as well.
Yep. Yeah, and if you're not sure what you want, right, you can always start a free trial, and it'll be
Yep.
the fully featured result by Splashtop will be available by default in that 14-day free trial, and you can test out and see whether or not you're actually using any of those advanced capabilities and make a decision from there with no strings attached, which I think is great. Um, so obviously, like the January 14th release is a lot of new stuff for Windows and Mac, but I know we have some more things planned in kind of the next phase of dev work here. Can you talk a little bit about what we're going to be adding on kind of in the subsequent quarters after uh,
Yeah,
the
sure.
initial launch? Yeah.
After the initial launch, we'll shift our focus to Linux, right? Enabling this so the device that you're remoting into can be a Linux machine. Where to start, it's just going to be Windows and Mac. And then we'll also introduce remote command so that they'll have those capabilities as well. We feel like those kind of go hand in hand, with the Linux platform. And then we'll make some tweaks to the UI too and give a little bit more visibility into what's going on when you're installing, launching a session, and those kind of things. And then if we look past that, then we'll start to explore, more granular RBAC permissions for this and things of that nature. So we know that we'll come out with Linux, and then we'll kind of look to see what do our customers say. We have a couple of things that, are in the parking lot that we know we can prioritize if we need to based on how this is received and where we see the need shift and things like that.
Awesome. Yeah. So as is always true, the feedback from customers is really important. So if you feel like you need something or you want something additional, let your CSM know, let the product team know. That always gets back to us, and I know that team is constantly looking at feedback and incorporating that into their kind of decision matrix on what gets prioritized in the roadmap.
Sure.
Awesome. Well, that's pretty much all we have time for today. Thanks for joining us, Steph. If you're interested in the Splashtop capabilities, keep an eye out in the Automox newsletter. We'll have a lot of information updated there. We'll be sending emails as well. If you're an existing customer, you can keep an eye out there. We'll, of course, have announcements in the press and on our website too. The other plug again that we mentioned at the top of the hour is the 2026 State of Endpoint Management Report. As you all enter the holidays and have a little bit of extra time, it's a great time to benchmark and think about next year things to prioritize and thinking about your strategy with automation and taking an honest look at how automated your endpoint management is huge, because anything that you can do on the front end to automate manual work is going to save you a ton of time throughout the year and hopefully pay back in dividends. So take a look at those two things. Otherwise, we will see you all in the new year.
Bye, guys.